everyone. Welcome to the Medicine Minute series. Today I'm joined by Nancy Schaumburg, the director of SAY, which stands for Social Advocates for Youth, a long-standing prevention and early intervention program from Belfair JCV, a beneficiary agency of the Jewish Federation of Cleveland. For over 25 years, the SAY program has been a vital support system for middle and high school students across 6 eastern suburban school districts, promoting mental health awareness, healthy decision-making, and emotional well-being. Nancy leads a team of dedicated social workers and counselors who work directly with students and families, helping them navigate the complexities of adolescence and academic stress, challenges that have only deepened in recent years. With her leadership, the SAY program reaches thousands of students and parents annually, creating safe spaces and meaningful connections in and beyond the classroom. Today, we'll explore how SAY is transforming school communities, the growing need for mental health resources and education, and how early intervention can set teens on a positive trajectory. So Nancy, thank you so much for being here, and I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it as well.
So the first question is, can you tell us about your role and how you got started as a youth advocate?
Well, this really started when I was 14.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and I was really interested in psychology and adolescent health way back then. And somehow, was the person who was helping all my friends in high school, and just have always wanted to be a social worker. I don't know where that came from, or if I even knew what that meant, but I just wanted to help people. So I started when I graduated with my master's from Ohio State in social work, and worked in addiction treatment, and then ended up now working in prevention, which I love. So and got this job with SAY 17 years ago. So
wow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I love it.
I'm so glad you got to continue what you love doing, and that's really crazy how you started back in when you were just 14 years old.
Yeah.
That's younger than even I am right now.
Yeah. I'm lucky that I knew
what you're going to do,
what I wanted to do in my future,
and that it's so helpful to the community. That's awesome, actually. And then the next question is, what are the biggest challenges facing young people in Cleveland today?
I think that it's probably the same that people are facing really all over the world right now. Things, I think, with COVID happening, and it really changed, I think, a lot of how teens are acting from that. I think social media is a huge issue in terms of how teens are thinking about themselves, and how, what they're seeing on social media. We're hearing a lot of scary stuff that are happening online now with, teens getting into some pretty dark places on the internet. Having to, seeing what other people are doing, and then wanting to be like them, or not really being genuine on social media, I think is a big issue. I think academics is huge also.
Yeah.
In my generation, I don't remember being all that stressed out about school. And I raised 2 children who are adults now, and it was really, it was so intense.
Stressful,
It's really, I can see how stressful that is. Cleveland, particularly Cleveland, I just think Cleveland's a great city. So I can't really comment on how. You have some other questions in there that I know will kind of target some things that are happening, more specifically in Cleveland.
Yeah, as a teen, I can definitely say COVID changed the trajectory of how just teen mental health overall. Just not being able to see people in person can definitely take a toll on a person's mental health. And just seeing people on social media, whether they're being real or not, can definitely change how a person feels about themselves, and can also increase the insecurities for teens. So I think it's really important that you brought up that.
Yeah, and before I really, the position that I'm in now is the director of SAY. It happened in August, so prior to that, prior to that, I was in Shaker Heights High School, and I was in the South Lyndhurst District and Mayfield District, so I've been working with teens most of my career here at Belfair and Say, and have seen like so many different things. I think legalization of marijuana is also like have been something, and I could say that particularly of Ohio and Cleveland, that I've seen huge changes and huge increases in teens who are using at very, very high levels of THC. I've seen, like a lot of consequences with that, too. So I think that's, another hurdle for teens as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of things changing right now, so I think it's really important that you're doing this work.
We who do it love it, so.
Thank you for that. And then, what inspired you to work with youth, and what keeps you motivated?
What inspired me? I guess prior to working at Belfair years ago, I worked with in a middle school and high school doing some prevention work in Akron. Then I taught preschool. I was a stay-at-home mom, and then I don't know. There was something about the SAY program that I wanted to work for this program, and I'm like really fortunate that I did. That I don't know. I can really tap into my teenagehood. I think there's a lot of adults that say I hate teenagers. I don't understand teenagers, and that really bothers me because I'm like, you were a teenager, and can't you just tap into that?
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel like a teenager. So I feel like I connect really well with young people, and just want to help them. So I'm not sure if I can't remember your question. So, but what inspired? I mean, I all I can say is that I am inspired by the students like you and other students that I've worked with over the 17 years. I am so inspired by all the students, all the teams that I've worked with.
Yeah, I mean, considering you started so early, that's like you've done so much. Yeah. And I think you were talking about like how there's like a stigma a kind of around teens, and like how they might not be well behaved, but people do have to consider that they were teens at one certain point. So,
I think I mean I can't say for sure, but I think life was a lot easier and simpler when I was a teen.
Yeah.
I can only speak for myself that if I were a teen today, like I'm glad I was a teen.
It's an experience
a long time ago. And then even with my own kids, they didn't have the social media issues. They're older now, they're parents now, so
it's another one added onto the table.
I didn't have to deal with as much with their phones as parents need to deal with it today, and teens are dealing with just having this I'm addicted to my cell phone. I can't even being a teen.
I guess like phone addiction is one thing for teens as well.
Yeah.
So it's another one. And then, could you share a story that had a big impact on you while working with teens?
I guess, I can't really say one in particular story, but, I've had students that I meet as freshmen, and they're, having a lot of difficulty, and they might have social anxiety, they have difficulty connecting, they're getting in trouble, they might be doing, getting high, whatever. And then I see them as seniors. And the growth between a freshman to a senior is like, it's kind of staggering. It's just unbelievable. Sure. Every year I see that growth. I did have I guess I could share that I had a student many years ago. He's probably 30 now, 32. And he struggled, just had a lot of trauma that he dealt with. And I saw like tremendous growth in him. And it wasn't just me, but it was the other teachers and teams. And then, as he got older, he came and saw me. His mother had died, but he came back, and knew that there was this adult that had been in his life that, could help him. We all do as a team, our SAVE team, we either run into former students or hear from students that we're seeing that, thank you for, I've changed so much. I ran into a student that she was 27 and said she had, she was in SAY. I didn't really recognize her because she was much older, and she said that she was in SAY, and I said, well, what, how was it for you? And she said, it changed my life. I became a much nicer person.
Wow.
And this is what prevention does. This is like when you are working with students to prevent things from happening and providing them opportunities to grow and mature and to lead and be leaders. Really amazing things happen. Yeah. So I can't take the credit. It's just this partly it's SAY, but it's prevention really that is key.
It's helping these teenagers. Yeah, I think the teenager years are definitely like a very important part of our life where we learn how to mature, and depending on like the adults that are part of this formative stage, like they're very helpful in like helping us teens make the right decisions and set us on the right path. Mm-hmm. So I can definitely say you've helped set a lot of people on the right path.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I like to say I don't want to take all the credit. It's like it's so cliche, but it takes a village.
Yeah.
And say we're a village with all these other people that teachers and all the adults in the lives of teens who can really make a difference.
Yeah, I think one small step can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
And then, what do you think young people need most right now from their community? I think you've basically answered this probably. If you want to still add on, or we can.
Oh yeah, I could totally add on to this.
Okay,
so really, what I think they need spaces. They need rec centers.
Yeah.
They need places to go where they feel safe. They need to be able to walk in a store without being judged for being a teenager. I see, the signs on the store, no teenagers allowed, and
oh my gosh.
Other teenagers have made it, and it's the minority of those teenagers that have made it difficult for teenagers who are doing great, for most of them. And so I think that in a community, all which would include schools, neighbors, whether it's a synagogue or a church, they all need trusted adults that they can go to and feel like they're part of the community.
Yeah.
They need access to, like I said, to these places where they can go. There needs to be, and I don't know if other, communities, cities, like some cities have rec centers, some don't. They should be everywhere, even in the inner city. There should be places where teens can go where they feel safe, where they feel loved, where they can trust the people they're with. And I think the communities just need to wrap their arms around, teens and all kids, so that they have, they feel that way.
Yeah, I think it's really important for teens to have a space where they can express themselves. Thing that can just definitely help their mental health and also reduce insecurities as well.
Yeah.
So.
Well, even with physical activity, there's not all kids can pay for, a country club, to go, or even some rec centers at church money. That they're right. Yeah. They need places, even parks or wherever they can go where there's some exercise equipment and other other types of arts that I think are important.
Yeah. So teenage years, I guess, are just the most formative years of our life.
Yes,
so making the right decisions is definitely important.
Yeah.
And then, how do mental health, education, and social support connect in your work?
So that's what we do. We don't do in prevention. We're not providing therapy, but we're providing tools that can help somebody with their mental health. So you were in our SAY summer camp, the SAY Summer Leadership Institute. We also have our SAY Student Leadership Council, and we develop campaigns every year. So this year we got a grant from the Garson Foundation, which they wanted a suicide prevention program for us to do, and we did our Cope with Hope campaign. And the Cope with Hope slogan was developed by one of our former, she had graduated, our former SAY students in the Student Leadership Council. So this year we were able to get funds so that we can really raise awareness, and we had we were in different schools, tablings that doing it. We have an 8th grade youth forum that we did, so we taught 100, or about 85 middle school students from 6 different schools about coping with hope and the resources, the 988 number, had them do little skits, So, I mean, that's what we do. We provide education, we talk about mental health all the time, and, and support, where you can go, the whole, trusted adult, where you can go for support. So that's the work that we do.
I think it's important that you're combining all those aspects, yeah. Yeah, okay, and then I think the next question is, what advice would you give to a student who wants to be a leader in their school or community?
So, I think that I don't know, it just always felt to me when I was young that a leader was somebody who you can see it is leading, right? Yeah. But leaders, they don't have to be seen. They could be behind the scenes.
Yes.
Like, anybody can be a leader. I think a leader, for anyone, a team, is somebody who's just kind, like who is a good role model. So they're those leaders. Yeah. They're the behind the scenes people who might write a letter to a congressman. That's a leader. And I think that in the state, when we have our leaders in the summer camp and we have our leaders in our state council, they're all just by virtue of coming to these programs or being a leader. Even if their parent made them come, they turn into leaders because they're connecting with a group of people who want to make a difference. So I guess the advice is you can be any kind of leader. Yeah. But make sure you're a leader who people, and if they're following you, that you're making really good decisions. And if you're not a leader, because it's okay to not be a leader, and you're like a follower, is make sure you're following the right people. Make sure that you're following the people who are aligned with your beliefs, and hopefully they're beliefs that you're a kind, caring person. Because there are people who end up following people who they look like leaders, but they're leading you down the wrong path.
Yeah, I completely agree when you said a leader doesn't have to be heard or seen. They can be working behind the scenes. I think you can literally take that as a quote. That's such a nice thing to say. Yeah, and also being a leader, making the right decisions is very important, especially when you have a following. So, yeah.
Well, I totally see you as a leader. I mean, look what you're doing. You're putting information out there for people that's really positive, and they can learn and grow.
Thank you so much.
It's really cool.
Okay, and then next question is, how do you approach conversations around tough topics like violence, poverty, or mental health?
Well, I think those are definitely topics that need to be discussed. We do it through campaigns that we do, raise awareness on these types of issues. We have another program happening here at Belfair. It's through the Begun Foundation, and they're doing a nonviolence program for middle school kids and for starting really young kids going into kindergarten. So it's never too early to start having those kind of conversations around violence, not saying it's violence, but how to be nonviolent. So I guess we approach it more how can you be a kind, caring person and not a nonviolent person, and just really have if there's violence in a kid's life, is to just be there for them and help them find the resources that they need, as supportive adults, or even as really teaching middle and high school kids how they can be supportive to their peers going through those situations. And we have seen it. We've seen it in a lot of our schools. We've seen violence, and we see how the community can come together during those times. And mental health is, mental health is in all of us. We all have days, and we all have stress, and we all can have anxiety. Some people have more difficulties with that, but I think we all need to, a lot of what we do is teach kids and adults the tools, whether it's breathing or meditating, mindfulness, and those types of things. That can help. And what I love so much about my job is that I don't know what I would be like if I didn't work in this field, because I learned so much, and I try to practice what I preach. So when I talk, if I'm telling a student, like, you should try, this type of breathing, or this type of meditation, or there's a thing called tapping that you tap in certain parts of your face. And
I didn't know that.
yes,
Cool.
oh, look it up. Tapping is amazing. I just actually went to a 6-hour tapping program, and it changes your brain, and it's like the different meridian parts and different organs in your body, and it is evidence-based. So just look up tapping. It's effective. The effective freedom technique is like kind of like acupuncture, but you can do it anytime, anywhere, and you.
Yeah, it's convenient.
Somebody told me about it, and I said, "Oh, sign me up. Where do I?" And they're like, "Just go on YouTube and find it." It's amazing. There are so many tools out there that will help us. I talked to so many students. They're like, "I tried that breathing." I said, "Well, you do breathe like all the time. It's a different kind of breathing."
Yeah.
But all of this it just doesn't come naturally. You just have to. It's like learning how to play an instrument. You have to just do it. I often forget, like, to breathe, like to have that good breath when I'm feeling like some anxiety, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm so like tight right now, and then right now, I feel so good. So I also really recommend, like, during COVID, I had heard somebody talking at NPR about awe moments, and finding those awe moments, like a sunset, or or anything. And I started to do that when walking my dog, just looking. The sunset is so beautiful. I live across from a park. The sunset today, I saw 4 little baby squirrels, like. So I see, and I have seen like really kind of crazy, bizarre moments as well. And this sounds crazy, but sometimes I look for hearts, and I see like hearts in different places. And it's just certain, And this is another thing that I heard, I think on NPR or somewhere, that if you're walking by a stranger and they smile at you, notice how it makes you feel, because it actually increases your oxytocin. And it's really
it feels so nice.
Yes, so I started like doing that on my walks. I'll see someone and I'll smile at them, and they smile back. Like, I'm feeling it right now with you. Like it just gives. I just get a feeling of you have to just notice. Try to notice that feeling. Yeah. And it feels really good. And so there's a lot of little tiny things you can do that can kind of change your focus and make you feel better and make you think better. So, so I try to impart some of this wisdom on people that I know and students that I've worked with. But none of it comes easy. Like, a lot of it is just practice and incorporation. And I just say, if you just feel better for that 1 minute, that's better than no minutes.
Yeah. So, I think it's really important that we look at the small, tiny, little positive aspects of life, and focus on that. Because that can definitely help a person feel better. I didn't know about the oxytocin thing. That's why it feels so nice.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I know. I thought when I heard that, I went, I'm going to try that. And on my first walk, I live across from a park, and this boy was walking by me, a young teenage boy, and he gave me the biggest smile. Aww. And I smiled back, and it was such a great feeling. Like, I was like so thankful for him, for doing that. So yeah.
Thank you for doing all that.
Oh yeah.
And then.
You're welcome.
And then, what resources or programs in Cleveland are helping you thrive?
Cleveland is I think it's just a great city. There's a lot of things that like, anybody can do. I know when my kids were young and in high school, they said, "Oh, I hate Cleveland. There's nothing to do here. There's nothing to do here." And I think that a lot of teens might still feel that way, because the things that are out there, like, you need to drive to them, or you might have to go with your parents. But and Cleveland has changed a lot since I was a kid. Like, so much. It was like downtown was really, like, you did not go downtown, but it's really so nice now. It's in my summer program that I have, and as you know, I try to take students downtown. We went downtown.
I remember
Went
that.
to the library. Like Cleveland
Yeah.
Public Library is amazing. There's lots of
Mhm.
libraries that are great that people can go to. But we have so many beautiful parks
Mhm.
that, that are free and beautiful, and just get out in nature. I think volunteering is like really important. So, so you can go online and find all kinds of places to volunteer. We go, for the MedWish International to sort medical supplies, the kids'
Oh,
bank,
yeah.
where there is a feeling about volunteering that is, really can help with mental health. It's really,
altruism.
and there's an organization called the Search Institute, and they wrote the 40 ways kids will succeed, and one of them is volunteering. Really, if you can help a neighbor, like you can help an elderly person in your neighborhood and mow their lawn, or just like kind of be nice to them. I mean, there's just so many things that I think that teens can do that I think they get so bogged down, just from what I see, with so much like schoolwork. But summer is coming. I mean, it's like, I don't know, you guys are probably done with school already, so
my last day of school
tomorrow, and there's so many things to do in the summer, and I just hope that, like, just being outside in nice weather, and I don't know, I go swimming every day. I don't know, it's different for everybody what they want to do, but there are a lot of resources. There's a lot of mental health resources, and I guess I would say if somebody is feeling like suicidal, there's the 988 number, and there's resources we meet with the collaboration of other organizations. So there's grief counseling at Western Reserve Grief Services. There's just a lot. And if there are things that people do need to access to, is just call dial 211, and then you could, whatever you need, they can tell you, like whether it's housing or mental health or so there are lots of resources.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was these many resources.
Yeah, it's United Way. It's a 211. It's the United Way. So it's a good place for any kind of resources that you might need.
Yeah, and I think mentioning how volunteering can make both the person who is volunteering and the person who's getting the help can make both of them feel better. I think that's really important that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
And just seeing the small things in life and doing something small like volunteering can make anybody feel better, I think.
Yeah.
So just giving back to your community.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be like you're going to an organization to volunteer.
Yeah,
it could be right
anything.
There on your street. It could be like
small steps.
Shoveling someone's driveway, or mowing their lawn, or watching their pets, or just sitting with someone and talking with them, helping someone in need.
Yeah, I can see that make anyone happy. Yeah, small steps is just taking the small step, and that one step I think is really important.
Right.
Yeah. And then just a couple questions. So, the next question is, how can students and families find or access these resources? Do you want to talk more about that, or we can move on to the next question?
Access to the resources, I mean, really,
It's
there's
just
the internet, I mean, so we have we send out a newsletter to parents. It's called the Say Connect. And so I just sent a bunch of links to our marketing guy who does it for us. And I was looking online, I thought, in this issue we should put like places to volunteer. So in that Say Connect newsletter, there are, a lot of places. So I just found it. I just Googled it, like places for teens to volunteer. And what I found was a lot of like kids and parents. So I think that it is really kind of nice if like they go together, parents take their, their teens out to volunteer with them. So they can find, really anything online. And like I said, the 211 would be more resources for like people in need, and just look on the internet for volunteering. And I think that those are the like two main ways to find it.
You can definitely stay Cleveland has a lot of resources, and with the internet being used so much more often nowadays, I think that's definitely like helped increase like the access to students for students and parents. So yeah, that's one.
And I think there's a lot going on in Cleveland. So really, like Metro Parks they have programming.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I just would say just Google whatever you want, and you might be able to find it in terms of how you know, for mental health or physical health, you know, or just fun things to do.
Yeah.
Free fun things to do, you know.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so, what role do schools play in supporting the health and well-being of youth?
I think that COVID really brought to light. I hate we're bringing that up, but just, you know, because I know just in the school I was in and a lot of the other schools that they're focusing more on mental health and bringing in more social workers, counselors, you know, outside programs to come in and help in some of the school districts to provide those resources. There are schools that I'm working with another organization that are providing funds so that there are safe spaces for the teachers. There, and some schools have safe spaces for students where they can go to decompress when they're, you know, not feeling well or they're having some mental health issues. You know, so many people in the schools are trained to do suicide assessments, threat assessments. So, you know, I mean, we didn't talk about this stuff when I was in high school, you know, middle school. So, you know, there are, I know health teachers health teachers or our say workers in our schools provide programs in like they might do all-day classes in the health classes or in other classes that provide programming around how to reduce stress and anxiety, drug and alcohol prevention, suicide prevention. We bring in speakers, or we bring in people in recovery from drugs and alcohol. So I think there's a lot that, you know, from my perspective and what we do in our schools. And we work closely with our schools. What are the needs in your schools, and then work with other, you know, the other teachers, administrators, nurses, guidance counselors, all of them, you know, to try to help kids be healthy. and really we want we want all of the adults in the schools to also, security guards, everybody, you know, to be healthy and feel good.
Yeah, I can definitely say, like, back when I was a 6th grader, I remember when the news of COVID came out, little me was like so happy, like, oh my gosh, no school for 2 weeks. And that 2 weeks grew to like a year, and I don't think I ever realized how much like a toll it took, like, to not be able to see like your friends at school in person on a day-to-day basis. Like, I remember when my school first brought out like hybrid, like you could like go in person to see your teachers. I don't think I was ever happier, like being able to see my teachers again, my friends again after such a long time. Like, I mean, it was a literal lockdown, right? So you couldn't see anybody other than your family. So I don't think some people realize how important that is to just be able to talk to someone on a day-to-day basis and like make connections. And I think it's so important that like schools, their counselors and their say workers give opportunities for students to like be able to talk to someone when they need it, and just like be able to talk about their health and their insecurities and all this stuff. So
yeah, and we, you know, having done this for so many years, and a lot of us, you know, have been, you know, in SAFE for a long time, is that we do see like you know, the benefit of our work. And how much it helps.
It's very important.
And it's really, you're just like being there for someone, being supportive to someone. And you know, teens can do it with their friends. Any adult can, you know, we just really sometimes just need to listen and not even do anything. Just be there for people.
It's like you never know what someone's going through. So just being there and active listening is really important, I think.
I think that that we need to, and teachers and all of us, you know, especially adults, need to just assume that that every kid has had trauma. And because of COVID, you've all had trauma, but that every kid's hit some, even when they're acting out or you think they're mean, or we just need to assume that there's more than meets the eye here. There's something going on. This kid isn't acting this way just because they want to. There's, you know, and to just, we can diffuse all that just by, like, just being like, hey, are you okay?
Yeah. Just one
can I
small
help you?
conversation
Yeah.
is important, I think it's really important, the work you and the SAY workers and the counselors are doing. Thank you so much for being there for us teens.
Always my pleasure.
And then, what should adults know or do better when it comes to understanding young people?
Well, it's kind of like what I just said. Just
being there, I think.
Just assume that if, you know, really, that teens are going through a lot. I mean, their brains are growing faster than, we didn't have that research when I was a kid, that, like, we didn't know about the brain, the frontal lobe, and that it doesn't fully develop until you're in your mid-20s. Now I'm like, oh, that's why I was that. That's why I was like that back then. So we just have to understand that, you know, they're not doing things to us. It's just what's happening, you know, in their brain or in their homes, or with their mental health or with their intellectual health. I mean, we just have to just not, you know,
judge based on what you're seeing.
Exactly. So, and I would say that there's so many wonderful people in our schools that are helping students and helping them thrive, and that I think things have changed, and that there's a lot more awareness, you know, around suicide prevention, drug and alcohol prevention. That I think that adults, you know, mostly are doing good things everywhere for teens, but maybe, you know, in some places it could be a little bit better. I think that giving teens voice, like giving, is like so important. Honestly, you guys are the next generation that can maybe change the world, you know, for the better. And so it's like we need to treat you all like precious gems, really, and help foster, you know, all of your wonderful things that you're going to do in your futures. So
I really like what you said, giving teens a voice. I think that's very, very important, when just being able to, like, address what we feel is important to us and people around us is very important.
I think that's why this, like, the SAY Council has been so successful. So this is a group of teens that come together from different high schools during the school year, and it's their, you know, it's a leadership program. They come, they get to decide. You know, I definitely, me and my coworker, we definitely push them in certain directions that sometimes we, you know, have to, but we get to be creative in developing campaigns that resonate with their peers, that, you know, make a difference. And I wish, like, adults could just, you know, because it really is amazing what transpires when you get a group of teens who are doing, you know, some good work, and to see, like, how much better they are than we are with the adults in their lives, you know. It's really cool. So that's why I love doing what I do, and I learn so much, like, from people like you, and all the teens I've worked with over the years. So.
I think when, like, a person is passionate about something, they'll do their best to, like, bring their ideas out and help other people. So I think bringing all these passionate teens from different high schools, I think is very important too, for what the SAY Council is doing. I think is pretty important.
So my summer camp is full right now, but for anybody who has a teen that wants to come to the SAY Council during the next school year, we accept any teen from any school. It doesn't have to be one of our SAY schools. It's just the 9th through 12th graders to come and, you know, and talk. And we do a lot of fun stuff, team building, and sometimes we have an outing too. So
that sounds nice.
It's fun.
And I think we just have a couple more questions. So, How can someone my age get involved in making a difference?
Well, one is joining the Say Council. You know, it could be a little, like we've talked about, it could be a little tiny thing,
Mhm.
you know. You could just change one thing about yourself, or just like smile more, like when you're walking in the halls at school.
Yeah.
Or you can volunteer. I mean, that makes a huge
Yeah,
difference. You know, you can be an activist in some way if you want. You know, there's, you know, and I guess it's just finding what your passion is.
Yeah.
You know, and just, you know, being a good role model, especially for younger kids. But, you know, I mean, I guess how could I, you know, make good choices? I mean, that sounds kind of like, I don't know if teens like to hear that, just go make good choices. But, you know, I think it's important to, you know, just, I know that teens are going to experiment with a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to, you know, I guess you have to figure out what difference you want to make.
Yeah.
You know, what is it, did you want to make a big difference? Or do you want to make a little difference? Do you want to make a positive difference? I would hope so. So, and just start, and like you've been saying, start small. Start small. Just like go up to a student in school who's you think might be lonely, and just say, you know, hey, you know, what's going on? Just introduce yourself. I mean, those are hard things to do.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But so I guess you have to figure out first, what is it that you want to do? How do you want to make a difference? I've seen some students do like unbelievable. Like we had a student in the State Council years ago, and she in her school, she like, you know, had did a big program like on a Saturday where I can't remember what we were counting to send to some other country. I think it was peanut butter sandwiches that people were making, and it was like this whole big
sweet.
Community thing.
Oh,
it was amazing. So there's those people who want to make that kind of a difference, but like, you know, but then there's just really a little difference in doing something just different, a little difference that you want to make, like just vowing to be nicer, or you know, be more connecting with people, and people, you know, it has a ripple effect.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You know,
for sure. Yeah.
It'll make a difference.
I think just the last question is, what's your message to the youth listening to this podcast right now?
I read that question earlier, and I can't remember what it was. It's just, I guess, like, you know, be yourself and ask for what you need. You know, find fun things to do in life. Like, you know, look for those awe moments, and just ask for help when you need it. Don't be shy about that. Like, and things get better. Like, things get better. You might think like it's the end, something is the end of the world and it's terrible. I still deal with that stuff, but I've learned enough in life that
there's always
I'm a forward thinker. I said, okay, I'm at a hurdle right now, and this is really hard, but I've been through this before, and it's gonna end, and it'll get better. Like, I'm gonna forget all about what I'm dealing with right now, because it's gonna get better.
Life is up and down.
Yeah, nothing is gonna stay the same, and for the teens out there, you are gonna change so much. Your brain is gonna change, and you know, just like I said, you know, I mean, yeah, make good decisions, but like ask for help if you feel you're, you know, and also, you know, if you have a friend that's not doing well, just say, hey, are you okay? Like, are you okay is a great thing to say to somebody who's struggling, you know, and then like, how can I help you? If you have friends that are struggling, make sure that you find a trusted adult, you know, that you get them the right help. Don't try to fix it yourself. So that's like part of our Cope with Hope campaign. You know, there's this great video called "Are You Okay?" that shows how, like, you know, kids are being bullied and all. It's I really like it. We showed it at our youth forum to 85 eighth graders. So, but so yeah. I mean, I can go on and on about that, but those are pretty good things that can help.
I think that's all the questions I had, actually. you so much for letting me interview you,
Oh,
and I
wow.
bet everybody who listens to this will learn the same amount of information I did today.
Well,
I learned so much, so
Well,
just
I
thank you.
just thank you. I feel like I've learned from you as well, and I think what you're doing shows what a leader you are, and this is
Thank you.
amazing. I mean, I am so like